Hey friends, how you doing there? Welcome back to Babylon Talmud. Today we're studying Daf Chav Gimel, Daf 23 of Masechta Yevomis. No, let's not do that. Let's learn Ksubis. Daf 23 of Masechta Ksubis. Friends, well, here's what's going on. My mom didn't like that the wall behind me was bare, even though I don't mind it, but so that's why she put this picture behind me. Alright, well, don't let it distract you. Anyways, so today we're going weiter. We're going to wrap up our current Mishnah, move on to a new Mishnah, still on the theme of a Pesha also, a Pesha Hitir. So let us begin our journey into Daf Chav Gimel from Daf Chav Beis Amud Beis, 3 lines from the bottom. Tana Rabbanan, the rabbis taught, Shnayim omrim niskadsha, v'shnayim omrim lo niskadsha, harezo lo tinase, v'im nises lo teitze, shnayim omrim nizgasha, v'shnayim omrim lo nizgasha, harezo lo tinase, v'im nises teitze. Let's read that again. Tana Rabbanan, the rabbis taught, Shnayim omrim niskadsha, v'shnayim omrim lo niskadsha. So you have 2 witnesses who say about a woman that she was betrothed, but 2 witnesses say that she was not betrothed. So then she should not get married. But if she does get married, so then she could say that, right? So she shouldn't get married because there are 2 witnesses who say that she's already betrothed and she can't be married to 2 men at once. So she shouldn't get married. But if she did, so then if she did get remarried, she can remain married to the second fellow. If you have 2 witnesses who say that she got divorced and therefore she can remarry, but 2 witnesses say that she did not get divorced and she's still married and therefore she cannot remarry, so she cannot get remarried. And if she does get remarried, she cannot remain together with her new husband. So Maishna Reisho, Maishna Seifa. How come in the first part of the Brisa, when it comes to Kiddushin, we say, look, if they got married, they can remain together. And how come when it comes to Gerushin, we say if they get married, they cannot remain together? Amar Abaye says, Abaye Tirgma Pe'ed Echod. So Abaye says, well, understand this Brisa as referring to 1 witness giving this testimony, as opposed to 2 witnesses giving this testimony. Now, with this new lens, let us reread the Brisa. If you have 1 witness who says that she got betrothed, and you have 1 witness who says that she did not get betrothed, so Tavai B'Pnuya Kamasaide. So Be'etzim, both witnesses are agreeing that initially she was an unmarried woman. 1 second. I think that there's a lot of activity happening outside my door. 1 second. 1 second. We may have to ask the people to maybe keep it down for a few minutes. Okay. My apologies for that. So you have 2 witnesses, and so one of them says that she got married. One of them says that she didn't get married. So Be'etzim, both witnesses are agreeing that sort of the starting position over here is that she's an unmarried woman. One of them, though, is saying, but she got married. One of them is saying she didn't. Okay, they both are saying that they started at the starting point was that she was an unmarried woman. So basically, you have 2 witnesses saying that initially she was unmarried. One of them is saying, but she got married. So, so both of them are be'etzim saying, testifying that she was an unmarried woman. And the one of them who said, but she got married, well, that's just 1 witness, and 1 witness is not trusted, is not relied upon in the face of 2 witnesses. So therefore we cannot rely upon the 1 witness to say that she got betrothed. Seifa. Now if we have a look at the Seifa, at the second part by the divorce, so it's essentially the opposite reality. Eid echad omer nizgarsha, ve'eid echad omer lo nizgarsha, when one witness says that, so just to back up a minute, and therefore because we cannot trust the one witness who says that she's married, we cannot rely upon that one witness who says that she's an Eishes Ish, therefore we recommend her not getting remarried, right? Just because, there's a witness who says that she's already betrothed, but if she did get married, then she could remain married to her new husband, because at the end of the day, it was only one witness who says that, she's an Eishes Ish. Now moving on to the case of divorce, which is essentially the opposite situation. So, Tarvayu be'Eishes Ish kamasaide, right? One witness says that she got divorced, the other witness says that she didn't get divorced. So, be'etzim, the starting position is the opposite. The starting position is that she's a married woman, right? Both witnesses are saying, yes, she was a married woman. One of them is saying, but she got divorced. So, so this one witness who says that she got divorced is just that. There's only one witness who's saying that she got divorced, and therefore we cannot rely upon one witness, and therefore we have to assume that she's a married woman. And therefore, we cannot rely upon this one fellow who says that she's divorced. Therefore, we have to assume that she's a married woman, and therefore that's why we say that even if she gets remarried, she cannot remain married, because we have to assume that, we have two witnesses who essentially said that she was a married woman. Therefore, even if she got married to this new fellow, she would have to break that up. She would have to leave. Rav Ashi Omer, La'olam trei v'trei. So Rav Ashi says, no, really, we're talking about that there are two witnesses. As sort of it sounded like from the beginning. Shnayim Omer niskacher, Shnayim Omer lo niskacher. Right? We're talking about two witnesses over here. Ve'ipuch. However, the outcome is different. Meaning that when you have the two witnesses saying that she was betrothed and two witnesses saying that she was not betrothed, so in that case, she would have to she cannot remain together. Right? The opposite. Right? And if two witnesses say that she got divorced and two witnesses say that she didn't, in that case, if she got remarried, she would be able to remain together. Okay, what's going on over here? Shnayim Omrim Re'inu Sheniskacha. So two witnesses say, we saw her get married, get betrothed. Vishnayim Omrim Lo Re'inu Sheniskacha. And then two witnesses are saying, look, we didn't see her get betrothed. So two witnesses are saying, we saw her get betrothed. Two witnesses are saying, we didn't see it. Hareza lo tinase, she cannot get remarried because she's already married. Ve'im nises teitze, and if she does get remarried, she cannot remain with the new husband. To which the Gemara says, Pshita, that's obvious. Lo re'inua ein raya. I don't understand. You have two witnesses saying that we saw her get married. Two witnesses say we didn't see her get married. As we said, lo re'inua ein raya. Testifying that we didn't see her get married is not, you don't testify that you didn't see something, you testify that you did see something. So therefore we have two witnesses saying we saw her get married, two witnesses who basically aren't saying anything. So obviously we assume that she's a married woman, and that if she gets remarried when she's still married, she cannot remain with the second fellow. So Gemara says, well, this is a unique situation in that they're all living in the same chotzer, in the same courtyard. So what I may have thought to say, and therefore, because everyone's living together in the same courtyard, if this woman got married, everyone in the courtyard would know about it. And that's what we're saying, right? We're saying, so two witnesses are saying, we saw her get married. Other two witnesses are saying, look, if she got married, we would have known about it, and we don't know about it. And therefore, they're saying that essentially she's not married. And we're saying that if she got remarried, she would not be able to stay together, because even though you have those two witnesses who are saying that they're unaware that she got married, nonetheless, Komash Malon, De Avde, Inche de Mekachi Bitsino, that still you could have a situation where people get married quietly, and yes, maybe not everybody in the courtyard knows about it. And therefore, you have two witnesses saying we saw them get married, two witnesses saying we're not aware that she got married. We have to rely upon the witnesses who say that they saw her get married, and if she gets remarried now, she would not be able to remain with the second fellow, because we assume that she is a married woman already. Seifa Shnaim Omrim Re'inua Sheniz Garsha. Now, if two witnesses say that we saw her get divorced, V'shnaim Omrim Lo Re'inua Sheniz Garsha, and two people say, we didn't see her get divorced. She should not get remarried, because, we have the two witnesses who say that they didn't see her get divorced. But but if she does get remarried, she can remain with the new fellow, because you have two witnesses who said that they saw her get divorced. And now the Gemara says, okay, great. Now what's the big chiddush over here? That they're all living in the same chutzner, and I may have thought that that if they didn't see her get divorced, and that means that she's still married. It's the same thing as the first case, right? We already established this concept by the kiddushin of the small courtyard where everybody knows what's going on. I may have thought to say, yeah, but maybe there's a difference between kiddushin and gerushin. That maybe by betrothal, people might do that in private. But maybe more when it comes to divorce, it's more likely that if they really got divorced, then the people in the courtyard would know about it. And therefore, maybe it's a stronger argument to say that if you have witnesses who are unaware that they got divorced, maybe then they really didn't get divorced. So, Kamash Malon, no, it teaches that there are people, just like there are people who get betrothed quietly, so there are also people who get divorced quietly beneath the radar of the yentis, even the yentis in the courtyard, and therefore it's possible that she got divorced and these people just didn't know about it, and therefore you have two witnesses who are saying we saw her get divorced. So look, she shouldn't go and get remarried, because you have two witnesses who are saying that they're not aware that she got divorced, but if she did get remarried, she would be able to remain together, because we have those witnesses who said that they saw her get divorced. The Mishnah had said that if the witnesses came after she already got remarried, she could remain married. What is that talking about? Right? Our Mishnah, if you remember. Where was this Mishnah? This Mishnah was yesterday's daf. The Mishnah had listed two cases. One case is that if you have a woman who says that she was a married woman, but she got divorced, so then a pesha, a peshiti, or she is believed. But if witnesses came and said that she is a married woman, she says, yes, but I'm divorced. So then we cannot rely upon her. And the second case in the Mishnah is that she says, look, I was taken captive, but I'm tahora. We believe her. But if witnesses say, hey, look, this woman was taken captive, and she says, yes, but I'm tahora, we cannot believe her. And now the Mishnah then says, but if she already had gotten married, and then the witnesses came, she could remain married. And the question is that referring to the Reisha? Is it referring to when she says that she was married but she got divorced? Or is it talking about the Seifa, that she says that she was taken captive but that she is nonetheless Tehora? So it says the Gemara, Rabbi Oshaya Masni La Reisha. So Rabbi Oshaya says that this statement is referring to the Reisha, the first part of the Mishnah, that if witnesses came and said that she is married, and she says, yes, but I'm divorced, so we say that she cannot get remarried, but if she did get remarried, then she could remain married. Bar Oven Masni Lo Aseifa. Bar Oven say, no, it's talking about the Seifa of the Mishnah. It's talking about where witnesses came and said that this woman was taken captive, and she says, yes, but I'm Tahora. And we don't believe her, and therefore she's not allowed to marry a Kohen. But if she does marry a Kohen, so says Rabba Bar Oven, we're saying that she could remain married to the Kohen. Mandemasni Lo Areisha Kol Sheken Aseifa. So Rabbi Oshaya, who says that even by marriage, that even by when witnesses say that she's married, she says, yes, but I'm divorced, and we say we cannot rely upon her. And Rabbi Oshaya says, but if she already got married and then the witnesses came, she could remain married. So then certainly in the case of the captives, right, if she had gotten married and then witnesses came and said that she was taken captive, and she says, yes, but I'm pure, certainly there she could remain married, because in general, when it comes to shvuyos, when it comes to women who are taken into captivity, we try to be as lenient as we can. And therefore, if we say, if Rabbi Oshaya is saying that by Eshes Ish we will allow her to remain together, so then certainly by Shavua we would allow her to remain with her second husband. Now, according to Reb Oven, who says that Davka by the Shvuyos, they could remain married, but not by Eishes Ish, right? If witnesses came and said that she's a married woman, and then she says, yeah, but she got divorced, even if they came after she was already remarried, she would not be able to remain married to the second fellow. And let's say that the machlokas between Rabbi Shaya and Rav Bar Oven is based on how they understand, right, whether or not they hold like Rav Huna. We saw the opinion yesterday of Rav Huna. Let's read Rav Huna. Rav Huna was Rav Amnuna. Rav Amnuna was 2 lines into the wide lines yesterday on Chav Beis Amud Beis. He says, that if a woman says to her husband, you divorced me, so she's believed, because she wouldn't be so brazen to look at her husband in the eyes and say you didn't divorce, to say that we're divorced if they really weren't. Okay, so let's say that this machlokas here between Rabbi Shaya, who says that if she got remarried and then witnesses came and say that she's a married woman, she says that she got divorced, we believe her. So let's say that Rabbi Shaya holds like Rav Amnuna, that if she wouldn't say that she's divorced if she wasn't divorced. And let's say that Rabbi Bar Oven, who says that if witnesses came after she got remarried and said, you're a married woman, she says I got divorced, she would not be able to remain married. So let's say that he does not hold like Rav Amnuna, and therefore even if she was not divorced, she may look at him, right, she may claim that she is divorced. So again, so Leimer b'Rav Amnuna kamiflige demand demasti lo areisha, that Rabbi Oshaya, who says that even by Eishes Ish she could remain married, Islali de Rav Amnuna, he holds like Rav Amnuna that she wouldn't claim to be divorced if it wasn't true. Uman demasni lo aseifa, and according to Rabbi Bar Oven, who says that by Eishes Ish she would not be believed, Leislei de Rav Amnuna, he does not hold of Rav Amnuna, and therefore she might actually claim to be divorced even if she wasn't. Lo duchuli amma is luhu de Rav Amnuna. No, everybody holds of Rav Amnuna. This is the machlokas, the ma'asaver ki itmar de Rav Amnuna b'fanov, aval shelo b'fanov mi'iza. That Rabbi Bar Oven says, look, when Rav Amnuna says that she wouldn't be so brazen as to claim, to look her husband in the eyes and say that you divorced me if it wasn't true, that's if he's mamish in front of him. If he's mamish there in the room and she looks him in the eyes. But over here, this is not the case. Witnesses are coming and saying, look, you're a married woman. She says, I'm divorced. Well, in that case, she may claim to be divorced even if she's not. Whereas Rabbi Oshaya holds that even if he's not there, still, conceptually, she's not going to claim to be divorced if she isn't actually divorced, and therefore she could remain married if she claims to be divorced. Now, the Mishnah said, right, that if the witnesses came after she already got married, says Shmuel that, by the way, when it says that if the witnesses came after she got married, so it doesn't necessarily mean that after she's mamish married, once they permitted her to get remarried, and they say, okay, you can get remarried, and then witnesses came and said, wait, you're a married woman. She says, no, I'm divorced. Even though she's not actually married yet, still she can go ahead and get married. But it says that lo teitze, implying, right, she shouldn't leave, implying that she's already married. Lo teitze me'atera rishin. No, it means don't. She doesn't have to leave from her permitted state. Right? Once they said already she can get remarried, she can get remarried even if she hasn't yet gotten married, and even if witnesses came and said, hey, you're a married woman, she could still get remarried. Fine. Tanu Rabbanon, the rabbis taught, Amr nishbeisi v'torah oni, if she says, look, I was taken captive, but I'm tahora, v'yesh li edim shetorah oni, and I have witnesses to attest to the fact that I'm tahora. Ein omrim namtin ad shevo edim. We don't say let's wait until your witnesses come. We immediately allow her to get remarried. If they permitted her to get remarried, and then witnesses came and they said, Lo yadainu, we are unaware of the fact that she is tahora. Harizo lo teitzei. Then still, right, lo teitzei. But if witnesses came and didn't just say that, right, that we know that she was taken captive, but if they came and say that we know that she's Timeya, witnesses are coming and say she's Timeya, even if she's had 10 children from the second husband, she cannot remain with him if he's a kohen, because if she was Nensa, and potentially if it was not against her will, since she'd be even if it was against her will, then she would be unable to marry a kohen, and therefore if witnesses came and said that she's Timeya, so then since she would not be able to remain with this kohen husband. We also the Asin Linarda, there were these girls who were taken captive and they were brought to Narda. And Shmuel's father put some guards there to protect these girls from their captors, that none of the captors should be inappropriate with them. Shmuel said to his father, I don't understand why all of a sudden are you putting guards for these girls in captivity who were taken captive. I mean, nobody's been guarding them, since the time they've been taken captive and until now. Why all of a sudden now you're putting guards for them? And Shmuel's father said, if these were your daughters, would you be saying that? And it was like a faux pas. It was like a mistake that came from before the ruler. And sure enough, it happened that Shmuel's daughters were taken captive. And they brought Shmuel's daughters to Eretz Yisrael. And when they came to the Jewish community in Eretz Yisrael, the daughters of Shmuel said to their captors, you guys wait outside, we're going to go into the Bezdin. They went into the Beis HaMedrash to Reb Chanina. And each one said, look, we were taken captive, but, each one said, I was taken captive, but I'm Tahora. Sharinu, and the rabbi said, okay, well, Nishbeisi Vitora Ani, Hapesh also Hapesh Yitir, they can marry Kayan. The Sof Ul also Shvuyinu, and then afterwards their captors came and said that that these girls were taken captive. Amr Reb Chanina, and Reb Chanina realized what happened. He said, Benan Demuryan Inun, clearly these girls are the daughters of a great rabbi, right? Meaning they realized that these girls knew the halacha that if the captors came and testified that they were taken captive, so then we wouldn't be able to believe them that they're Tahoris. But from the fact that they came in and said Nishbeisi v'Torani Hapesh also Hapesh Yitir, well, then they were able to establish them as being Tahoris. So these girls knew the halacha. So Reb Chanina said they must be the daughters of somebody great. Igloi Milset became revealed, Dibanti Demar Shmuel Havyon, that they were the daughters of Shmuel. Omerle Reb Chanina Lev Shem Bar Abba. Reb Chanina then said to Reb Shemin Bar Abba, Poke itapa b'kovasecha, why don't you marry them? Omar Le Reb Chanina, Reb Shemin Bar Abba said to Reb Chanina, Va'ika Eidim b'Mdina Sayam, but aren't there witnesses in some other place that maybe they were Timeos? Hashta Mias Leisnu Kaman Eidim. To which Reb Chanina said, yes, but we don't currently have any Eidim to testify right now that they are Timeos. Bitzad Astan v'Teoser, Eidim Bitzad Astan v'Teoser, just because you might have witnesses somewhere in some place in the north, does that mean that we have to rely upon them right now to make these girls Asuris? Taima Delo Asu Eidim Ha'asu Eidim Mitzvah. Now the Gemara says, 1 second. So it sounds like what Reb Chanina is saying, look, yeah, maybe there are witnesses to say that they are Timeis, but those witnesses aren't over here, implying that if the witnesses were over here, then we could rely upon the witnesses to say that they're Tmeos. Right, so time of the law Su'edin, the only reason why Reb Chanina is not relying upon these potential witnesses is because they're not here right now. Also Edem Mitzvah, implying that if there were witnesses here to say that they were taken captive, so then these girls would not be able to marry a Kohen. Right? Oh, by the way, Rishem Bar Abba was a Kohen. But one second, didn't Avua the Shmuel say that once we permitted them to get married, even if they haven't actually gotten married yet, so then even if witnesses came and said that they were taken captive, we would not believe them. If these girls said, right, a pesha also a peshita, and we said, okay, you can marry a Kohen. Avua the Shmuel said, once they get the green light to marry a Kohen, even if witnesses now come and say, look, you were taken captive, we don't rely upon them, because they're already permitted. But over here, we seem to be implying that the only reason why we don't rely upon these witnesses is because they aren't here right now, implying that if they were here, we would rely upon them. So Rav Ashi said that what they were talking about here was Edei Tuma, that Kilu, yes, these girls said, Nishbesi V'Torah Ani, a Pesha also a Pesha Yitir, we could rely upon them, and they could marry a Kohen, and that's why Reb Chanina said to Hashem Bar Abba, why don't you marry them, because he was a Kohen? Fine, Seder. Now, then we said that, but if there would be witnesses, so then we wouldn't allow them to marry him, right, marry a Kohen. But I thought Avua the Shmuel said that once we permit them to marry a Kohen, even if witnesses came, we don't believe them. So it depends what kind of witnesses they are. If they're just witnesses that are coming to say that they were taken captive, yeah, we don't rely upon them. But if there are witnesses that are coming to say that they're Tmeos, well then, if you have witnesses that come and say that they're Tmeos, well then they would be unable to marry a Kohen, even if they were already given the green light prior. Now we get to a new Mishnah at the top of Chov Gimel Omud Beis. Shnei Noshim Shenojvu. So as Rashi points out importantly, you have two witnesses who say that these two women were taken captive. So now Shtei Noshim Shenojvu is also meres Nishbesi V'Torah Ani, is also meres Nishbesi V'Torah Ani, and they each say, look, yes, we were taken captive, but we are Tahoris. Eina Ne'amanos, we do not believe them, because you have two witnesses, right, as we learned in the previous Mishnah, right? If you have witnesses coming and saying that they are Tmeos, right, saying that they were taken captive, we cannot simply believe them at this point that they are Tahoris. But if each woman testifies about the other one and says, look, I can testify that she is Tahora, and vice versa, right, the other one testifies about her that she's Tahora, so then we can assume that they are Tahoris, because, right, as we mentioned earlier on today's daf, that b'shvuya ikelu rabbanon, that we try to be more lenient when it comes to people who were taken into captivity, and therefore, even though in general women would not be witnesses, over here we can rely upon each of them to testify about the other one, to say that they are Tahoris. Says the Gemara, Tana Rabbanon. So the Rabbi started, Ani Tmeya v'chaverosi Tahora. So if you have a woman, she was taken into captivity, and then she says, look, I am Tmeya, but my friend is Tahora, Ne'emenes, she's believed. Fine. Ani Tahora v'chaverosi Tmeya. If it's the opposite, she says that I am pure, I am Tahora, but how do we say this? My friend is Tmeya, Ein Ne'emenes, she's not believed. Ani v'chaverosi Tmeya, that we are both Tmeya, Ne'emenes al atzma v'eina Ne'emenes al chaverta, she's believed about herself that she's Tmeya, but she's not believed that her friend is Tmeya. Ani v'chaverosi Tahora, when she says that we are both Tahoris, Ne'emenes al chaverta v'eina Ne'emenes al atzma, she's believed for her friend, but not about herself. Now, we had just said, Ani Tahora v'chaverosi Tmeya. If she says that I am Tahora, my friend is Tmeya, Ein Ne'emenes, she's not believed. Now, what are we talking about? I deleko edim. if there are no witnesses, if we're talking about where there are no witnesses who said that they were taken captive, and she says, I am Tahora, and my friend is Tameya, why is she not believed? If there are no witnesses, and she says, look, I was taken captive, but I'm Tahora, why is she not believed? Rather, it must be where there are witnesses. And there are witnesses who say that they were taken captive, and she says, yes, but I'm Tahora. Well, she's not believed. But Ema Mitziaso, so if we're saying where there are witnesses, but what about the next case? Ani v'chaverosi Tmeya were both Tmeyas. Ne'emenes al atzma ve'en ne'emenes al chaverta. She's believed about herself, but not about her friend. V'di'ika edim, but if there are witnesses who said that they were both taken captive, amai lo mehemno, why is she not believed about her friend? Why is she not believed about her friend? To say that she's Tmeya. Pshito tileko edim. Rather, it must be talking about where there are no witnesses. Where there are no witnesses. And we're saying that she's believed about herself to say that she's Tmeya, but she's not believed to say that her friend is Tmeya. Ema Seifa. But then, if we continue, Ani v'chaverosi Tahora, that we are both Tahoras, ne'emenes al chaverto ve'ne'emenes al atzma. She's believed about her friend to say that her friend is Tahora, but not about herself, to say that she herself is Tahora. But if we're talking about where there are no witnesses, atzma ma'lo mehemno, why is she not believed about herself to say that she's Tahora? Right? It's a pesha, also a pesha iter. Elapshita de'ika edim. So must be talking about where there were witnesses, and therefore they're saying that she was taken captive. She's not believed to say that she's Tahora. So Reisha v'Seifa de'ika edim, mitziasu de'leka edim. So it sounds like the Reisha is and the Seifa is talking about where there are witnesses, and the middle case was talking about where there are no witnesses. So Abai says yes, that's exactly right. Reisha v'Seifa de'ika edim, that the first part and the last part is talking about where there were witnesses. Mitziasa deleka edim, and the middle case was talking about where there were no witnesses. Fine. Rav Papa Amar says, Rav Papa kula deika edim, says Rav Papa actually in all four of these cases we're talking about where there were witnesses who said that they were taken captive. The ika eid echod dika apich, and then there is what this woman is claiming, and then there is another separate witness who is claiming the exact opposite of whatever this woman is claiming. So you have two witnesses saying that they were taken captive. You have this woman who is, right, so you have two witnesses saying they were taken captive. You have this woman who's making her claims. And then you have some guy who's claiming the opposite of whatever she's claiming. So Amra, Ani Tmeya v'chaverosi Tahora. So when she says that, look, I am Tmeya, but my friend is Tahora. V'omar lo, and then this guy says, right, Eid Echad, this one witness says, At Tahor v'chaverosech Tmei, says, Punkt v'akeret, no, you are Tahora, but your friend is Tmeya. So, well, she herself is going to be Tmeya, because she said that she's Tmeya, she made herself Tmeya. But her friend is Tahora, because, right, we said that, B'shvuya ekelu rabbanon, that we're more lenient when it comes to people who were taken captive, and therefore you have two witnesses who say that they were taken captive. Now this woman is saying yes, but my friend is Tahora. This other guy is saying no, your friend is Tmeya. We rely upon her because she's saying that her friend is Tahora. So b'shvuya ekelu, they were lenient by shvuya, and we can rely upon her testimony that her friend is Tahora. Ani Tahora v'chaverosi Tmeya. When she says I am Tahora, but my friend is Tmeya, we said that she's not believed at all. V'omar lo eid echad, and there's this one witness who says the opposite. At Tmeya, you are Tmeya v'chaverosech Tahora, and your friend is Tahora. So again, you have two witnesses saying that they were taken captive. This woman is saying, I am Tahora, my friend is Tmeya. This other guy is saying it's the opposite, that you are Tmeya and your friend is Tahora. So when it comes to her, came the Ika Edim Lav Kol Kamina. Well, since there were two witnesses initially who said that she was taken captive, so when she says I am Tahora, that doesn't make a difference, right? We can't, right? If they said that she was taken captive, she can't just say, but I'm Tahora. Chaverosa Mishtaya Puma De'ed. And the friend is tahora because of the witness, right? Meaning two witnesses said that they were taken captive. Now, this woman says, I am tahora, my friend is tameh, and there's this one witness who's saying the opposite, i.e. that this woman is tameh, but the friend is tahora. So here we have an Eid Echad who's saying that the friend is tahora, so the friend is actually tahora because we rely upon that one witness. Ani v'chaverosi tameh, if she says that we are both tameis, v'omar lo Eid Echad, and one witness says, Ad v'chaveroch seich tahora, actually it's the opposite, that you're both tahora. So well, she herself is tameh because she said that she's tameh. She made herself tameh. Chaverosa, but her friend, Mishtaria Puma de'ed, is permitted to get, is considered to be tahora because the witness said that they're both tahoras. So kilu we can rely upon this witness who says that the friend is tahora. But we already know this concept that we could rely upon this one witness to say that the friend is tahora. I may have thought that actually in this case where this woman is claiming that they're both tameos, maybe actually they're both tahoras actually. Remember that concept from Yivamis? Maybe for whatever reason, she kind of wants to get her friend in trouble, even if it means that she herself would get in trouble. And she says that we're both Tameos, even though it's completely not true. And you have this one witness who's actually saying that they're both Tahoris, and maybe the witness is right, and that they're both Tahoris, even this woman. Kamash Malan, that no, she makes herself Tameh, but the other witness who says that they're both Tahoris, could be relied upon upon for the friend to make, so that the friend is tahora. Ani v'chaverosi tahora, when she says that we are both tahoris, v'amrla eid echad, and then this one witness says ad v'chaverosach tmeya, that actually you're both tmeos, ihi kevin deika edim lav kol kamino. Look, since there are witnesses who said that they were both taken captive, we cannot believe her about herself to say that she's tahora because these witnesses said that they were taken captive. We can't believe her to say that she's tahora. But the friend is permitted because she's testifying about her friend that she's tahora, and b'shvuya kelu, and that we're lenient by shvuya to say that we can rely upon her testimony about her friend. Hasulamali hainu reisha de reisha. Nu, we already know from earlier that she could make her friend tahora based on her testimony. I may have thought to say that we only rely upon her to testify about her friend when she's making herself pesula. But over here where she's saying that both of them are ksheris, I might think that we cannot rely upon her. Kamash malon, that we're saying that no, even in this case where she says that they're both tahoris, we could rely upon her testimony about her friend to say that her friend is tahora. Friends, that was the Chav Gimel of Masechta Yevamis. We wrapped up the first. We wrapped up the Mishnah that we had started yesterday. And we started with sort of this case where two witnesses says that she was betrothed, two witnesses says that she wasn't betrothed, two witnesses said that she was divorced, two witnesses said that she wasn't divorced. We said that by Kiddushin, if she got remarried, she could stay married. By Gerushin, if she got remarried, she cannot remain married. So Abaye says that it's Dafka talking about where there was one witness, not two witnesses. Rav Ashi says that no, it was talking about where there were two witnesses, but actually it's the opposite, where they got engaged, they can not remain married. But when the witnesses are saying that she got divorced, then she would be able to remain married. We saw a machlokas between Reb Oshaya and Rabbi Bar Ovin about how to understand the last piece of the Mishnah when it says that if the witnesses came after she had already gotten remarried, she could remain married. Reb Oshaya says that is referring to the Reisha of the Mishnah by Eishes Ish, right? If she says that she got divorced, and then witnesses came after she got married, she could remain married. Whereas Rabbi Bar Ovin says no, it's talking about the Seifa, where she says that she was taken captive, but she is pure, right? She's Tahora. If witnesses came after she's already married, she can remain married. And then Afkamina is that according to Rabbi Bar Ovin, he would say that, however, when it comes to divorce, they would not be able to remain married. Then we got to a new Mishnah which introduced an interesting concept of B'Shivuya Ekelu, that the rabbis were more lenient when it came to Shavuot, to say that we could rely upon one witness, and it doesn't have to be a man, right? One witness, right? Even if you have these women who were taken captive and they're testifying about each other to say that they're Tahoris, we can rely upon them. Friends, that was Daf Chav Gimel of Masechet Ksubis. Hope you enjoyed. Peace out.